I have 2 hours until 4 p.m. to lock in. This dress is actually so heavy and absolutely ridiculous. I'll show you how I unravel this burrito. Gonna go buy fabrics now, looking for a purple plaid. Actually, I don't even know where. Oh my god, wait, the florals look nice though. Oh, these look like picnic. So far I haven't found anything really purple plaid, but this looks cool. I think this is something that Vivienne Westwood would use. We might have a contender, actually. Maybe. I think so. I am going to the Vivienne Westwood exhibition and high tea party down in Wellington by the end of March, and I thought I would design an outfit to wear that is Vivienne Westwood inspired to wear to this exhibition. So I made a whole bunch of sketches and I was trying to decide what do I want to make, and I was thinking, you know what? Let's go fabric shopping and see what type of purple checkered prints there are. Your girl spent like $100. I did get a purple cotton fabric just to act as lining, and I saw this in the offcut section and I thought this silver metallic fabric looks really cool. Like, what if I made a bag or like a top? It's like metal foil looking. At the moment, I have around 2 weeks to create a full look, which I can do. I can pattern and everything. I was a little indecisive as to which design I wanted to do, and I think I might make this middle design. And here's a little sewing hack. I'm gonna make some patterns based on the fit of these two clothing. This is a slim fitted button-up, but this is still a little long on me, so I'll just shorten and adjust. So it kind of acts as a guide for construction and also sizing, because as you know, my mannequin right here, this one is not the best one. I still need to get a proper dress form, because whose boobs are that pointy? Like, what the hell is that? It'll be nice if I could one day get a mannequin that is close to my size. But tomorrow I still have to go into work, so I'll see you the day after to work on this. I'm just cutting up old paper bags for me to use for my pattern making. There is actually proper pattern making paper that we used during uni. Obviously those are like big meter rolls, so I'm just gonna cut up and reuse as much paper and card I can. Ta-da! Now I have long big pieces of paper for pattern making. So I traced each individual pattern piece of the shirt by trying to lay it as flat as I can by using the various bottles and candles I had. Another pattern making method that people would usually recommend is taking apart the actual piece of garment and tracing each individual piece of pattern, but I'm not about to take apart my whole entire shirt. So I just tried tracing around the patterns that I see as best and close as possible, and then I'm just refining it with my ruler and just drawing any like incomplete spaces. I mean, the overall gist is that I just wanted to get the sizing as close as possible to me. Guys, I just traced the collar pattern, like half of it, and I just want to show you how insane my calculation is that it reaches just the points for me to fit in this section. I wanted to make the collar like a little more thicker, otherwise it would be like this short, but I just wanted to leave some room. And oh my god, look at how perfect that is. Oh, and just to let you know, all the pattern making is done at nighttime, so I know the lighting is like a little dim and yellow. It's because I was coming back from work or doing other things in the daytime to do the pattern making up until probably like 10 or 11 p.m. before going to sleep. But yeah, you know, on the grind, gotta get all the patterns done. Front pattern, back pattern, back top, collar, fold it in half, and then the collar strand. And now I just have to pattern the sleeves. I've made the sleeve pattern slightly flared out so I can get a bit of that poof, which means I'm done with all the pattern pieces for the button-up shirt. So I think I'm just gonna trace and cut it all on the final letter print fabric, and if there are any adjustments, I'll make adjustments on the actual fabric because I don't think I have any fabric that I could trial on, and I also want to give myself enough time to pattern other stuff like the skirt because it's technically in under 2 weeks and I'm gonna be getting my period in a week. I might be tired. These are my crusty reused paper bag patterns and I'm just gonna get straight to it. Let's hope my measurements are all accurate. Side note, I was thinking how can I hide the junk in the background, but then you know what, this is the reality of my workroom at the moment because this is like a small living room but also junk storage space in the house. So there's a literal old TV and grand piano that's just stacked with stuff. But yeah, that's not the point. I traced the patterns on the wrong side of the fabric in my skinny gel pen for accuracy. I just find chalk really messy to use with the hands and like fabric, and I know you can wash it out, but I think pen is just easier and neater to do. Currently sewing a simple straight stitch at 4.5, which is the largest stitch length I can do on my machine. And this is for pulling the thread to make gathers for the tiered skirt. I'm back at home now after work, and I'm just making some final pattern pieces. And now I have a 3-tier skirt, so that's gonna have 1 ruffle, 1, 2, and then 3. Y'all, it's 2 o'clock. I have 2 hours until 4 p.m. to lock in and do as much sewing and work as I can because I'm going out tonight. Celebrate a friend's birthday. Gotta keep my social life too. But anyways, let's work. I don't know if you're surprised that I'm still doing pattern making because I don't think you realize how much pattern making there needs to be done before actually making the final thing in fabric. Because if the measurements and the pattern pieces aren't good, the outcome of the clothing won't be that good. And I guess I didn't expect it to take that long. I mean, I kind of knew, but yeah, we're still pattern making. And there was like 2 days before I had to leave. I'm literally tracing the packaging of the loop turner I bought to get the width for the straps that I'm gonna tie around my waist, which is this crisscross bow tie detail. I am doing my usual gathering, so this is gonna be the ruffles for my skirt. I've already sewn 1 layer, and I think this is looking good. Oh, like look at how cute that is. Like, and now I just need to gather all the long strips of fabric and sew it together. Ah. Okay, so I've got the first layer, front and back ruffle done, but before I piece anything together, I'm gonna sew a pocket on one side and then a zip on the other side. But before I do any of that, I'm thinking I need to sew on the second layer of this tiered skirt. So I'm gonna have to like pair it all together like this, if that makes sense. When I flip this over underneath, you've got this layer. And so I need to flip this back and sew a line, and then I will have this long line that I can sew my... Oh my god, let's see if it worked. It better had worked. Ta-da! And then underneath, you gotta lay it for me to attach the next layer of ruffles. Layers. Okay, now I have the second layer of ruffles clipped over here. And now time to sew it. Thank goodness bobbin only ran out near the end of my stitch, so I didn't lose too much time, so let's refill. These are all the long straps and loops made, which will be used to sew on the side of the shirt and also lacing it together. Finally starting to sew and construct the shirt together. So I've got the back piece of the shirt here, and I've got 2 front pieces that I'm gonna face right sides together and just sew along the shoulder seam at the top. Later at night, I mostly did a lot of fabric cutting, and I've just lined up the last ruffle layer of my tiered skirt. Tomorrow I'm flying out, and I'm finishing up my shirt right now. And I thought I'd show you this cool thing. I think it looks pretty cool. So basically this is the button-up shirt, right? Okay, so I've sewn these 2 top sections, right? But there's this flap that's like left, like this is like the inside. So this flap is supposed to be up like this, but I'm just folding it down. I'm taking this entire shirt and I have to roll it up like a burrito. It's called a little shirt burrito. and then when I roll it up here, this piece from before, from this side, pops out. So I would have to take this over and sew it onto the neckline. This is the shoulder seam. Let me just clip this in place. Actually, let me show you real quick what this part I'm sewing is. So this is a simple button-up shirt, right? And then inside, there's this panel with the labels and everything. And do you see how it's seamless? Like there's no like overlocking or like exposed seams. So it's just so that you could have a clean back collar or inside collar. I'm gonna clip this and then I'll show you how I unravel this burrito. This is the burrito. And I've sewn the 2 stitches here. And then now let me show you how I take it apart. Well, not take it apart. Roll it out of the burrito. I'm gonna trim this a little bit. Maybe like a half. Too much bulk. And then this is the neckline opening, and I'm just gonna pull this entire shirt out. Yeah. Oh my God. I did it! So this is the right side with the pocket, and then when you open it, you've got this clean, smooth panel. Now I'm gonna sew the collar part. It's these 2 sides. One of them has fusing, so the collar can be a little stiffer. I'm gonna do right sides to right sides, sewing all sides and leaving this part open. And then I'm gonna sew one of these onto the collar side, and then this last. Oh my god, I was a little rusty sewing the collar, but it looks presentable. Just ignore the fact that there's a little bit of extra. I'll just say that this is for the buttons so that this can meet up nicely. I think as like a first big project after not sewing for like a really long time, I think this is okay. So I've got one of the sleeves done already, and I kind of figured out a cool method. This is how small the elastic is. Then the sleeve is like this wide. I've got an even bigger safety pin. And then so now you have this like gigantic thing. Now you actually won't lose the elastic in the casing. Now the reason why I'm not putting this directly on this elastic is this is like a really thick, gigantic safety pin, so it's gonna poke like a big hole. And so I'm just gonna like slip this through, and it's like so easy to feel. And after I put this through, I've got the little itty bitty elastic right there, and then I'm just gonna make a stitching right there. And I'll just keep it in, and then I'll sew the rest of the sleeves on the shirt, and then I'll gather this at the end. And now when I'm sewing on the sleeves, I'm gonna clip the ends and then do the other side, because matching up the ends of the fabric is more important. And in the very center, like the very point here, there's gonna be like a couple gathers, so it's like there's like a slight volume, but not really. Now I've got a seam here that's like the shoulder seam. I'm gonna clip everything to match up till the middle, and then I will just like gather it here. And when it's finished, this is how it should look like. Can you tell that there's like these few little gathers, and then the rest of the seam is like flat. And so on the shoulder, there'll be just this little perked up side. Oh my god, this is a trial test. Obviously, I'm not gonna have a button up all the way, but I'm just clipping it in place so that you can see. These are the sleeves. Oh my god, they fit me just right. And I haven't sewed the sides yet because I do want to sew some ties to like tie it and cinch it in. I'm gonna mark out where my waist is. My waist is like here. I'm gonna sew little loops here. Okay, so this is how I sewed on the little loops. The width is the same as the strip that I'm gonna have. So now I'm finally gonna close this end of the shirt, and it's gonna be done. This dress is actually so heavy and absolutely ridiculous. I have clipped on the last ruffle layer here, so now I'm just gonna sew all the way around. Oh, look at this big pile of the skirt. It actually doesn't look that much, but it's a lot.
I know, you know, we know we're on fire. The sparks in your eyes are what I desire. You're my light in the dark, even though you are tired.
Oh my god, that is the last layer of the dress left. But now I just need to top stitch the waist and close the edges. Oh my god, this thing is heavy.
Wow, good fit.
Fear is my favorite muse. Fear is my favorite muse. Fear is my favorite muse. My favorite muse is fear. Fear is my favorite muse. Fear is my favorite muse.
This skirt will possibly be my new favorite winter skirt because of how cozy and thick the fabric is. I'm honestly so proud of myself with the silhouette and how everything turned out, and the fact that it has pockets. Originally, I did want to make a matching plaid corset in the same fabric as the skirt, but I was a little tight on time, so I made the unique cool crisscross tie detail on the shirt, which I think still looks good and possibly will be one of my new favorite shirts. And lastly, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching the first part of my little sewing fashion design series. I will be posting my Wellington trip vlogs after this, which will show the Vivienne Westwood exhibition more in depth while I wear the outfit. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the sewing process from start to finish and a little behind the scenes. This is officially the end of part 1 of trying to be a full-time fashion designer. So if you've watched up until this point, please leave me a little star emoji in the comments. Let me know what you think of this outfit, and I will see you in my next vlog. And I've literally just been cutting up paper bags for my pattern pieces.